Oh, alright guys, just got back from a flea market in a place called Hillsville, Virginia. They kind of turned the town into the whole town into like a flea market there. They do it twice a year, and this is the year where it's kind of slow. It's not as big as the one they do on Labor Day. And got some pretty good stuff, not a huge stack. And I went yesterday, then I went back today because I need to get a tire on my car, and there's a place that sells tires down there. So spent about another hour down there, picked up a few things that I bought yesterday, and decided why not, why not. And you know what? Oh, there's some good energy here coming back, coming through, and I think everybody really is ready for it because Ghost Critic is back. And there's two other people that had told me they're probably coming back, and or ones definitely thinking about coming back. And I kind of get the feeling what I think they're doing is licking their finger and holding up, checking the climate in the wind. And I'm really excited because I'm pretty sure they're going to be back real soon here. So that's going to make four people back if you count me and stuff, and officially back. And that just leaves one more person who I think after he sees the positivity in the community and stuff like that, and he'll feel a lot better about things and come back too. So basically, I went down there, and a lot of these comics cost anywhere between $50 and $75 because I bought a couple here, talked the guys down, and then I got some really cool Silver Age stuff, maybe a Bronze Age book in there. I'm not sure, that I'm kind of proud of. I kind of treated myself. Not something you really see from me a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and show some of these things off. All right. First thing we have here is Wolf and Cub. I think this is from around '87, number 8 from First Comics. And Frank Miller, Roy Thomas, where did that come from? Frank Miller did the covers for this series of books that came out. And this one was real cool. This thing is mint. I mean, there's not a flaw on it. And when I open it, it's got that crack where it's never been opened before. And there's a great big introduction by Frank Miller in this. He did it in Los Angeles in '87. Lone Wolf and Cub is a series from Japan, and from what I understand, it's translated and printed American style. Okay, and there's actually, I think Lone Wolf and Cub have been around for a while. I think there's actually a serial that you can watch, or a TV show, something on, it's on YouTube now, that I found a couple of them. It's a black and white series, and I think it is Lone Wolf and Cub. I should look that up before I said that. Alright, now that I'm, when Earth 2, it's been announced that Earth 2, DC's New 52, Earth 2 ends. Not ends, but James Robinson is leaving the series with issue 16. That's it, I'm out. And this is the first time ever in my collecting that I would not have any Marvel or DC books on my pull list. And that's kind of weird. But what that means is that, yeah, I'm probably going to slow down here a little bit on buying books because it is flea market season. There's a Heroes Convention coming up. That's where I want to be, so who knows what's going to be between all that stuff. But what I get to do now is concentrate on filling gaps and stuff. And I think this may do it. I'll have every book that has something to do with Legends, the crossover event for DC back in the 80s and stuff. So I got this. And now, like I said, most of these books where I wheeled and dealed, I'm going to guess they're between 50 and 75 cents a piece. If I did the math right, I would know. But this is a Mockingbird, and it's a crossover with Legends Chapter 1. John Byrne cover. He didn't do the insides, but Mockingbird was a character who her whole thing was that shiny thing. She had like this real, she had to have it. If it was all shiny and stuff like that, she actually just had to go into a trance to have it. It's what it looked like. Just kind of nuts about that. Another thing I'm filling in with my gaps, crosses, crossovers. I kind of want to have all of those. And right here, this is a issue I've never read. It's Superman 415, revealed at last, the Supergirl's secret marriage. I have all the issues that go around this and stuff, so now I get to read what was going on there. And keep Supergirl in mind here, because I got something to show in a minute. Now, when it comes to key books, which is something I also might want to start trying to focus in on stuff, I got 2 key issues in here that aren't real big. You wouldn't really think they were key issues, but what a lot of people don't realize is that going back to the 80s, you go back to Crisis on Infinite Earths when it came out like in '85. The whole goal was to simplify the universe, and that means they had to cut off some fat and stuff. What a lot of people don't realize is that when Marv Wolfman came over to DC, I think in 1980, he and Len Wein started putting in progress the research and the plans editorially and stuff that turned into a 5-year behind-the-scenes project that nobody knew was coming, really. Yeah, I think in hindsight, now that we know Flash died in Crisis on Infinite Earths #8, this is a key book because Flash, who I just said died there, this book came out 2-3 years before Crisis was coming out. Let me make sure I'm telling you right. Yeah, 1983. And this began a series. This is Flash 324, and it is a key book, in my opinion, because he kills Professor Zoom, the Reverse Flash. And this set off a huge 25-issue ambitious storyline that led to Flash's last issue being 350. Now, you didn't know what was going on, you know what I mean? You didn't know there were plans for Flash to die. And I'm going by assumptions of hindsight being 2020, knowing what came after this. And this, I never laid eyes on this book, so I could not believe I got it probably for 75 cents. And this led off, starting with the story arc. Now, this is the book that I picked up on and started collecting Flash back in the day. And this is one of my favorite covers. I can't believe I didn't hold this up when I did some videos about top 10 covers and stuff. And Flash ended up becoming a fugitive, and he ended up going to trial. And he ended up getting plastic surgery at Gorilla City and had to unmask in trial, and he didn't like Barry Allen anymore. And it led up to a jury and him leaving with Iris into the future with issue 350. Next time Flash pops up, it's Crisis on Infinite Earth, and if you read that series, you see what's going on. But this was the start of it. So this is 324, 325, and 326, and it went up to 350. I've got bits and pieces back here. I need to see what I got. All right, this is the 80s, I guess, Baxter series of reprints. They did it for Neal Adams' Dead Man. They also did it for Jack Kirby's New Gods. There are 2 issues recolored a piece in this 6-issue series. It was all the New Gods issues, and I'm fine with it, man. It doesn't have the original ads and stuff, but it's been recolored and it's on higher quality paper. And I enjoy it, and this is number 5. Now I have 1 through 6. So I have all the New Gods reprinted, plus the little bits and pieces that I have of the original. And it's a fun book, man. These wraparound covers by Kirby are just fun. Seeing him revisit his New Gods. It's great stuff. Now, this here, talking about movies coming out. The word on the street, take it for what you will, is issue 183, 184, and 185 of the Justice League series is where they might be pulling a storyline, bringing in Darkseid to the Justice League movie, and they're saying it's these issues. That's what the rumor mill is. And that rumor's been going around for a while, and I don't know if it's been squashed or not, but I have, that hasn't. And I think the DC movies, if I read an article somewhere where a guy pointed out that part of DC's problem with putting out their movies is tone. And he didn't really say anything. The Marvel movies, you always feel like the movies are taking place in the same world. Well, he was right about the DC movies, man. If you took what we have now, Superman and Christopher Nolan's Batman, and you take what they did with Green Lantern, those are just all over the place if you were expected to have one universe. So maybe with the Dark Knight and then this Superman Man of Steel movie coming out, maybe there is hope for some DC movies, which would be wonderful. So this has great art, earlier art from George Perez. I think these are from 1980, and 2 of these are an upgrade. But I finally found this 183, and I've ran across this a couple times, never bought it because I hated how they put the New Gods into superhero costumes. But now we wrote her, and it's still the New Gods. So 183, 184. And 185. Now, what I'm wondering is, are they actually, if they do the Justice League movie, if it goes through and they pull from comics, is it this Justice League versus Darkseid, or is it going to come from the DC 52 Justice League 1 through 6? I don't know. Now, I was talking about key issues. There's been rumors again, just rumors that in the next movie Crossbones might pop up. And for you guys that don't know who Crossbones he was sort of like the Red Skull's right-hand man for a while. Get it, Skull and Crossbones. Haha. Mark Grunwald, Ron Lim, I think they're the ones who came up with them. This is supposedly his first appearance, but he's not in costume. He's got long hair and a beard, and he's blonde, and a guy kind of thinks he's the Punisher, and he went, I never thought about that angle. And then that's where the mask came from, where he put the skull on his face and stuff. I got that. I mean, I got this for 50 cents. I remember I got, whoever bought this, I bought 3 books off of this guy, and I got 3 books for $1.50. I talked him down. He was selling 3 for $2. Alright, now, I've got the whole run of this Planetary, and I think I have everything that has Planetary in it. I think I even have like the first book that has the ad for Planetary coming. And it took Warren Ellis and John Cassidy, I think, 10 years to get the whole series out, which was like 27, 28 issues. I'm recollecting these. I'm building up a second set because I'm planning on maybe trying to get them leather bound. I want to play around with getting bound comics. I have no experience with that, and I've actually seen a template for what you're supposed to do with the comics and where to send it to, and it seems like it's not a bad price to try, you know, now that I'm not buying newer books or even waiting 2-3 months to get them for $1 a piece. So, you know, just rearranging my budget there. So that was Planetary, and what was cool is that, you know, these books actually went up for a while. This guy was originally selling this for $6. I got it, you know, in a bundle for nothing. $4 for number 14. You know. And actually this number 13, I'm going back and forth on it, is worth getting because, like, it's kind of like a take on the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but it has nothing to do with it. You have Dracula pop up, and you have Sherlock Holmes pop up, and it's actually really good, really good. And of course Planetary 14. And I couldn't believe I got this. I think this is the place where I got 3 books for $1.50. This is the variant cover for Blackest Night number 7. The variant cover. I've seen this thing valued anywhere between $8 and $20. It goes up and down. So I could not believe I saw this, and it was unbagged, just in a bunch of comics. So I snatched it up, played cool with it, and I now have 2 of these, along with the regular cover number 7. But I could not pass up getting that variant cover. Now, I told you I was going to talk about Supergirl here for a minute. I think this is from 2002, 2003, and for quite a while this was a hot book. This is Supergirl number 75. I don't know if this is volume 1 of the series. There's been so many I don't know. But this is where they brought back Kara Zor-El, and it says right there on the cover, man, you know, is she friend or foe, and it was not an imaginary story. I'm a little nervous because I've looked in the book and stuff, and I went ahead and got it because I didn't really pay that much for it at all, but it's got number 75 in red letters. I really hope that doesn't mean it's a second print, you know, because, you know, it might just afflict me a little bit, hurt my feelings. But what's wild about it is that I never laid eyes on this book but one time. In collecting comics and stuff, you run across kind of like, you know, an underground comic book kind of collecting. There's people who just collect headlight comics. That's big big boobs on the cover. Bondage comics. They just, you know, a girl tied up on the cover and stuff, and they go way back to the 40s and 50s, you know, collecting this stuff. And what I call spread eagle comics, and that's where the artist has subliminally put a woman on the cover. It's mostly with Lois Lane books and stuff, where she's like, Lois Lane would be floating in water, and she's like, you know, arms open, legs open to be a shark diving. And when you forget about the perspective, it looks like, you know, a phallic image going towards her crotch. I'm serious, okay? But there's also a subgenre of people who just collect Silver Age / Bronze Age Supergirl. There's the Supergirl fans, and that's their Supergirl. And I met 2 of these fans. One I've been friends with sort of online, off and on, for 11 years, which blew my mind. And he has a Facebook page, and I think he calls it Pre-Crisis Supergirl. And he plays around with it. He also has a Facebook page where it's Watcher and Fan of Strangers, so that's the guy. And then I met a guy probably around 2002 at HeroCon who came out with a big stack of Supergirl books. We ended up the same place eating dinner, and he was the one that kind of told me that he has all kinds of buddies and stuff all across every couple states where, you know, they're just Supergirl nuts. So when this came out, this book just dried up and it became a hot book for a while, and I have no idea what it's worth now, if anything. And I really hope that's not a volume 2. But you know what? That part is, I know a third person. I know a third person who's into that subgenre of Supergirl, and you guys all know him too. That's what's so funny. And that is Peter Parker. Okay? This is out of my collection. So if you get Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man number 306 here, and get into the comic, Peter Parker is signing at a book sale. Not a book sale, but he's at a autograph session for his book that he put out of that. I think the Daily Bugle or somebody put out a book of Spider-Man photographs that Peter Parker has taken. and he was telling Mary Jane about how he loves Supergirl and had a crush on her when he was growing up. And she ends up buying him, I think that might be her first appearance or first public appearance in comics, Action Comics. I thought it was cool. Alright, so now we get to the good stuff. Alright, I'm really proud of the prices I got these on. I still think they qualify for the Howlermouse Hustle, but I don't know here. But we have Neal Adams' Batman, which I'm probably going to put in the title, I don't know. But we have Brave and the Bold number 83, Batman and the Teen Titans, interior art by Neal Adams. Yes, that is Mylar. Okay, got that for a song. They were he had a price on them. They were 50 cents, 50% off, and then I was able to talk him down from there. Same thing with this one. Really excited to get this one, and I think I got this, but this is definitely an upgrade. They just have rusty staples on them, which I can live with, because the rest of the books, these two books in particular, are creamy. You know, the majority of the pages are still creamy. I'm just trying to get it in there. A little bit rusty on the staples, but the rust is not bled into the comic, which I've never seen that before. This one here's got a little dog ear, and all the way around, you know, a little spotty, but that's it. And I paid practically nothing for it, written honestly. And then this one, I was really glad to get this one. I think this one's been popping up on the videos in the community. I've kind of laid off the videos there for like 2 weeks before this week and stuff, but it seems like a lot of people might have been talking about this one. This one is beat up, and I got this for $4.50, and I'm alright with that. And the way I talked him down, he originally wanted 10 for it. I talked him down to 5 because I started showing him the shape it was in and stuff. Talked him down. It's got a missing piece there, and you can't see it, but this corner is really, yeah, you can, kind of dog-eared. But as you look at it, you know, it's still intact. All the pages are in and stuff, and you know, it's still the deal. But it's a Neal Adams cover, and I think this one is an homage to Detective. I'm going to go on a limb here and say Detective 31 from the Golden Age. And that is just a beautiful cover. I never picked this book up before because I didn't realize that was a Neal Adams cover, and he did not do the interior, but you know, it's still cool to have now. And I could not pass it up when I saw that. And the biggest thing is that a lot of people are going to be excited that it's a Neal Adams cover and it's an homage and it just looks damn cool. But my thing is that's my favorite Batman logo. I want a t-shirt with that on it. And that is it, guys. So that was my flea market haul. Oh, well, go read some comics, guys.